All right. Thank you, intern. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Good to hear everyone. Seeing Kenton Redacted already in here. We're going to get everyone on stage. Hope everyone's had a wonderful week. Before we jump into the introduction here, I've just been thinking this morning. I was walking my dog. Something really cool is happening and something that has happened, right? I'd like to talk about Zcash for just a quick second. Everyone sees the run that Zcash has had. And then if you look at the chart at Zcash, it's really cool because it's been a really treading water for so long, right? It's kind of been flat and they've kept building and building and building, right? They've maintained an ethos. They've just never stopped. They kept going no matter what. And a lot of those Zcash people, you got to think, they're probably confused, like all that time, you got to think of all the doubts those people had. Like, why isn't Zcash doing well? It's amazing. It's privacy. It's better in every way, in their opinion, to maybe Bitcoin or something else, right? But then all of a sudden, privacy just becomes part of it, right? And with Redacted today, this is the perfect, I think, segue to it. And I'm so excited, you guys. All of a sudden, the stars align and people wake up and the first principles show themselves. The market is always subjective, but objective reality, objective first principles, those are always key. So I'm so happy to see that. And I think that's a great segue to this conversation. With that said, guys, let's get this introduction going here. THORChain is a decentralized exchange that enables you to swap Bitcoin with thousands of other cryptocurrencies, all layer one native tokens, no bridges or wrap tokens needed. And it's all within your self-custodial wallet. There's no KYC on THORChain. KYC stands for kill your customer. We do not do that. THORChain is permissionless. THORChain's token is called Rune, and that is spelled R-U-N-E. You do not need to buy or hold Rune in order to place a swap on THORChain. The fees from these swaps that happen on THORChain are deducted, and they are used to buy Rune. And then this is the Rune that goes to the yield, to the liquidity pools and nodes. There are no block rewards on THORChain. 100% of the yield is real. And THORChain is currently deflationary. 5% of all rewards are swapped to Rune and burned. THORChain has another token called TCY. This token is kind of like a preferred stock where 10% of the protocol's revenue goes to these token holders. If you deposited crypto into savers or took out a loan on THORChain, make sure you claim your TCY token so you can start collecting this yield. And if you're interested, anyone can buy this token and stake it and earn the yield as well. To swap on THORChain, go to swap.thorchain.org. One more time, swap.thorchain.org. New features and functionality are being rolled out all the time, especially over the next few months. If you have any bugs or encounter any problems whatsoever, please report to the email address that's displayed at the top of the site. What I've heard, it's been running pretty good lately, so that's great. Speaking of our guests here, Rujira is building a decentralized Binance on THORChain smart contract layer. And that is what Redacted is going to be talking about today. Super, super excited, guys. So cannot wait till we begin this conversation. And speaking of Binance, if you hold Rune on a centralized exchange, you need to withdraw it into self-custody. And shout out to the community. That number has been steadily going down. And thank you, Finn Contrarian, for doing that analysis. Really appreciate that. Keep withdrawing those tokens, guys. Let's get that number as low as possible because those tokens are being used to manipulate the price, right? Rune should be into THORChain as much as possible. And once you self-custody, you should look into bonding your Rune. And one of the best interfaces to do that is runebond.com. All you have to do is find a node, request a whitelist, and then bond your Rune. There's a community Discord and Telegram. You can join and learn all about THORChain, make friends. To find the links, go to @Thor, Thor community, all one word, @Thor community on X. Okay, guys, please repost the space. If you're listening recording, please repost the space. This is going to be a banger. I am so very excited for this. This is where exogenous layer ones, they get utility from the unique primitives that only exist with the combination tech of THORChain and Rujira. With that being said, I'll go ahead and kick it to my co-host, Kenton. Go ahead, sir. How you doing?
Good, Patriot. Thanks. Yeah, my name's Kenton Toes. I run a fund, the Usha Rune Fund, that invests in Rune and runs nodes on THORChain. And so I'm a node operator and bond provider on THORChain. And I guess I should also say recently I've started a marketing team for THORChain to get the message out, get users, developers, investors, start spreading the good word about THORChain. And I just want to echo your comments, Patriot, about Zcash. I'm writing a letter to clients right now, and that's one of my things I'm bringing up, is that Zcash has been all the rage the last few weeks, couple months, up 1,000%. Hyperliquid, that's been all the talk, this whole year. That prompted Binance to create Aster, their perp dex, and both of these narratives are THORChain is in that same arena, right? Like we're building the same thing, doing the same thing. So, MXC, the white whale, that whole fiasco with them freezing his $3 million, and now it's because he went online and complained. He basically got MXC to reverse course and apologize. So like again, this is what THORChain is solving, right? So THORChain is about privacy, self custody, all these an exchange, all these hot topics that are out right now, is what THORChain is doing and building. So you're totally right, man. We just keep plugging forward and keep building, and eventually, I think something's going to take off. It's going to catch.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that because we have a lot of people in the audience right now. I see my buddy Stone, really wonderful XRP community. This is all about using your exogenous assets like XRP that you love and giving it utility. That's why I'm so excited Redacted is here today, because that's exactly what we're building. We give the basic infrastructure for freedom, and that's what we're empowering. So maybe we should is the Rajira account going to speak, or are they here? I'm not sure, but I'll kick it to the Redacted account if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey, really nice to meet you guys. First of all, happy to be here. And yeah, I'm Finn, founder of Redacted. Been building since 21 on Terra back then, and been building through all the crash, etc. And yeah, for a small introduction on Redacted, we had the privacy layer for real assets built for THORChain and the app layer Rujira, which gives users the freedom to interact, swap, govern, send privately without giving up any custody or compliance. So you keep your keys, but your on-chain footprint disappears. Like you can think of it as the incognito mode for DeFi, powered by zero knowledge proofs and built for the whole cross-chain liquidity.
Okay. I'll start with the first question, Kitten, I guess. So okay, let's make this real simple here. Like I'm an XRP holder, right? And I want to use XRP with this thing. Like, can you explain how does it work? How does the privacy get achieved? Like, what can I do? Like, let's just wave a magic wand. You're fully going. You're fully you everything's running. What does that look like as someone who's like maybe has XRP or Tron or whatever asset? What can you break that down a little bit?
Yeah, sure. They just go to the Rujira frontend, just deposit XRP like they do already. Then there will be like a small privacy switch where you can activate the private mode, which like creates a private sub account then, which will interact for your public main account in a private manner. Between that, there's a proxy account which holds all the deposited private assets. Like while you're depositing to your sub account, the assets go to the proxy account, and there are like all assets, like not only XRP in it, like all the assets the users deposited. Whenever you want to use those assets, you just interact with your sub account, like your private account, like you already do now. So it's not really yeah, new stuff. It's just like privacy in the background, and the rest stays the same.
Okay, so go ahead, Kenton.
I say, who has custody of the tokens? Are the tokens still sitting on THORChain as secured assets, or is custody going to Redacted and somehow you're custodying the tokens to provide the privacy?
Yeah, on the blockchain, the custody remains with these users, and it stays on THORChain as secured assets. It's just sitting in a big proxy account. So with like privacy set, etc., Like the more people deposit, the more private it will get. But it's like secured by zero knowledge. So only the user who deposited can withdraw and interact with those assets. So we never like have custody over those assets, and like you keep full custody. But your on-chain actions became like not really traceable.
You said that the more people that use it, the more private it is. So is this kind of like, well, like Zcash, I guess, so that like if only a handful of people are using shielded Zcash, it's actually you can actually track who's using it, and it's like you need this massive pool of users that you kind of hide in the mix, like Monero does. So is it basically like if you're putting tokens in, if you're the only person using Redacted, using the privacy, will it be pretty like you can tell
Yeah,
who's using it?
you could trace it then. It's
Got
just
it.
like the more people deposit, the more like private it gets.
Okay, so this is like being like zebras. A zebra by itself is easy to see, but a zebra in a herd, that's why they have the stripes, because it's hard for a predator to pick out any individual zebra. They're camouflaged within themselves, and so is that the same idea then, right?
Yeah, correct.
Got it. Patriot, I jumped in front of you. Did you want to keep going?
That's exactly what I was going to ask. I was going to ask, how does it work with the XRP or whatever asset? It's a secured asset, but this is a whole privacy layer that's baked in. So, okay, is this something that's going to be opt-in, or is this something going to be default for the Regier? Like if I'm like, do you have to seek this out? Like, what is the cognitive burden for someone who's coming to the Regier for the first time? And like, is the privacy element going to be like readily available for them to understand, like, hey, you want to try it, or is it baked in, if that makes sense?
Like it's not like activated like from the beginning, so it's public first, but you have to like actively switch the privacy on button, and from then on you can like use the private account and like actively choose if you rather use the private account or the public account, and move like assets between those two.
Okay, so all right, so you deposit your assets, they become secured assets, and then once they're secured assets, then you have a toggle where you can enter private mode or stay public. Is my understanding correct so far?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Okay, so that's a really cool technology. How does Redacted, is there a fee associated with this? Like, how do you guys make your slice of bread in all this?
Yeah, there will be a fee for like swaps to use it. We haven't figured out the like final swap fee now, but we aim to like stay very like competitive and do it way cheaper than like other privacy projects out there. So people really want to use privacy and not like have the hurdle to like not use it because of the fees. So yeah, we aim to like 15 BPS or even lower.
Okay, so 15 basis points. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cheap. So what is that? So what does that fee look like? Is there like a fee to toggle it on, and then a fee only thereafter when you do swaps, or is there like a continual fee for having the assets in the pool? Is it only when you commit an action, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's only when you commit an action, like for example a swap, stake or whatever.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense to me. Pretty straightforward. Kenton, do you have
So
anything?
yeah, so if someone's tokens are sitting there for a couple of years and not doing anything, they're not charged any fees. It's only when they actually
like it's completely free.
Yeah. And
like I think it's the fairest way to handle that.
Yeah. And then and what is this kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, the way I'm envisioning this is kind of like having a bank account. So, my balance and my transactions and everything are private to the world, but they're known to the bank, right? The bank can go in and see everything that's going on. is that how Redacted works on THORChain, where all the transactions will be private to the world, but they're known to THORChain, known to the blockchain? Like, it's got to be recorded somewhere, right? And if you want to, yeah, maybe I'll stop there. Am I understanding it right?
Yeah, like the transactions are public itself, but not connected to a public account. So you can still see those private transactions, but they're like not connected to your on-chain identity or whatever. But we have like stuff in place for people if they want to do like taxes, etc., to like also export this like privacy transactions, or even like like viewing key for like example an auditor or what like tax consultant to check those, but only if you want to share it. Like it's completely up to you if you want to share those data.
So then how does it work on like a blockchain explorer? Like, there's going to be no address associated with the transactions?
Well, there is an address associated with it, but yeah, it's like the private sub account, which is funded by the like big proxy account, which holds all the like assets, and depending on like how big the privacy set it's like not really traceable then back to the like public address. So it's like all as before on chain.
So the proxy account, that's the address that will show up on chain on the on block explorers, and it's the sub accounts that will not show up anywhere.
Vice versa. Like the sub
Vice
accounts
versa.
will interact,
Okay.
and the proxy account will like securely hold all the assets till you decide to do any interaction.
Oh, but the proxy accounts won't. It'll be hard to link the proxy account to your personal address.
Yeah,
Or it'll be hard to
like
connect
you
this.
can't
Yeah.
track the assets which you hold in there, as it's like connected through like all the zero knowledge stuff, etc. Like if there is enough in it, it's not really traceable.
Okay, so all these sub accounts, these sub addresses will be on public on block explorers be able to see, but they're all gonna
Yeah,
funnel into the one main proxy account, and then all the individuals will tie into that proxy account. So the proxy account is the, like, I don't know, choke point, or where I'm thinking of like an hourglass.
yeah,
It's the middle of
it's
the
like,
hourglass.
yeah, it's like the big bank in the middle till
Mhm.
you decide to do any interaction and withdraw it to the sub account, so you can interact privately. And if you ever decide to like you're ready with your interactions, you can withdraw it to the proxy, and from there on you can like even create a new sub account if you like accidentally leaked the like public address of it, or like of your sub account. So you can even do that in like future versions.
Cool.
So is there going to be, all right, so this is a service, right? That and the fee goes. So there's no token, redacted token, or anything like that, or is there?
Yeah, there is a token
Okay.
which we also like had still like back on Terra, which came back to life there. Like maybe a bit to the history, like how yeah, Redacted came to life.
Yeah,
We
please.
yeah, we raised around 800k UST in early 22 on Terra with our like Ronin NFT, which like bootstrapped all the building and launched like the first ZK privacy solution in the whole cosmos, and like including audit, etc. And like after some achievements and like nearing integration in Terra Station itself, operations were halted due to the well-known incident. So yeah, from then on we like looked around what we can do, like obviously paused a bit, thought about launching on Arbitrum first. We also have like a working solution on there, but never published it, and then came to Rujira X THORChain as it's the perfect fit, I think, with like where all like assets come together and can be natively traded in a private manner.
Okay, so that totally makes sense. So this, and thank you for the history. I appreciate that. So this token, it's a, I'm assuming it's a revenue sharing token. Is that right? For the
Yeah, it's revenue sharing.
Okay.
Like
right.
Yeah.
And that all the revenue goes, like if you have this privacy functionality, the 15 basis points or whatever it is, does that go to Redacted only, or is that split with Rujira or THORChain? How does that work?
It's going to the like Redacted community, like the token and the NFT, and also like Rujira in a wise, as Rujira like acquired Redacted tokens. So if they decide to stake it, they will obviously like earn a share of like every private interaction then too.
Okay, interesting. Go ahead, Kenton.
So if someone's using Redacted on THORChain, on Rujira, do they need to own Redacted tokens to pay the fees, like that 15 basis points?
No, also not. Like currently, as far as I know, you don't need like really fees on Rujira, but if it would be turned on, we have features such as the like internal gas tank, which also like needs to work to make it all private. So you deposit like one time, the first time, like some whatever asset into it, and we will take care of the transaction fees from then on. You just need to make sure like this gas tank is like always filled with at least something to handle the transactions fees.
What token do you need for the gas tank? Can it be any token that's supported on THORChain?
Can be any token.
Got it.
We will automatically like swap it and make it work.
Got it.
So like it would be like one click trading in a term then.
So have you implemented this on any other platforms, any other blockchains, any other dexes, or is this going to be your first? I mean, other than your starting on Terra, have you is this going to be the first real application of Redacted, or are you doing something somewhere else?
Well, like the first stuff was on Terra, as you just said. Then we have like a non-released like demo on Arbitrum, which works a bit different as it's like not directly baked into like all those apps. So like as it's not public, it's not really irrelevant. But yeah, we just have like an in-app browser there. So you just type, for example, uniswap.org, and the private wallet will automatically connect, and it will all happen or would happen in this app then.
Okay, so
Cool.
do you have something else, Kenton?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So all right. So okay, so we have, gosh dang it, what the heck was my question? Well, we have some big names in here. Like we have the Wolf of DeFi in here. We have a lot of people in here. So what is the timeline going to look like? So can you give us a hint of that? That's what the question was. Yeah. The when you're going to go live, are you close, or yeah, give us an update on that.
Yeah, we are trying to finish that before like end of the year. And it's like always depending on the audit, like how it goes, like how fast we can get the audit, etc. But we're aiming to do it as fast as possible and working like all day to like ship it as fast as possible.
Oh, so this is coming soon. This coming soon. Oh yeah, it's November 1st right now, right? Or depending where you're in the world. So within 2 months, if the audit goes well. That's really cool, man.
And
definitely.
And would it be like that? Would that apply to like everything offered on Regear on app layer, or is it only? Would you have to do it on specific apps and maintain and support each one individually?
Yep. As of now, we're like testing with swaps, etc. But depending on everything, like how everything goes, we plan to like straight away launch everything, like which is currently live at least. And for the rest, we like will like set something up. So like devs just need to like put a hook on like a button in a private mode, so it will just work then.
So if we get to the point where there's hundreds or even thousands of apps on app layer,
so it should be like as easy as possible to integrate. So we just thought of like some sort of hook you just put to the button at SDev, which like trigger the like privacy transfer then.
Cool. Awesome. So then if you're, I don't know if you have different apps, I'm thinking out loud. If you have different apps, you're going between all these different apps, you'd want to have your privacy on for all of them. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to have privacy on only for a couple. If you're going to do it, you want your privacy on for all of them. So from like the user's point of view, like if I'm a user and I turn on Redacted and I'm using it, will that only, how am I trying to ask this? Let's say there's some apps for some reason that haven't incorporated Redacted, but I'm using apps that have Redacted, and I've got my shielded assets, and I want to go play and use the apps without Redacted. I'm going to lose my privacy, right? Or my tokens just not interact with those until I move them out of the redacted privacy.
Well, in the like private mode, I think an option would be that like the button would be just grayed out as the function isn't there yet. I would say, but other than that, like as long as you have like funds in the public account, you just like go to the top right, switch back to your public account, and just trade from there on. But yeah, obviously we aim to like secure everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if I'll go ahead, Patreon.
Oh, sorry, Kenton. No, go ahead, Kenton. Go ahead. Finish that thought.
No, so yeah, just so if I don't, yeah, can a redacted asset interact with an app that doesn't have redacted toggled on?
Like I think like none of the apps would need to turn something on for it, as it's like just in the front end. Like on chain, it's just like a smart wallet, which is like public and can like normally interact with anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Patriot.
Well, okay. Let's use an example here. So we have Redacted, it's live, right? Let's pick some from the audience. Let's go THORmax. THORmax does not have privacy enabled. He has one side of a perp. Well, THORmax just left. I'm gonna use Pragmatic Monkey. Pragmatic Monkey has one side of a perps bet, right? He's non-private. And then Kenton takes the other side. Let's say Kenton's perp position wins out and he makes money. In that example, the fees, or I'm sorry, the rewards from Kenton's successful perps bet, that would actually deepen the private pool, right? Because it's essentially goes to one module or wallet or whatever. But alternatively, if Pragmatic Monkey won, then it actually would get more shallow. Is my understanding correct? Because the private side would lose, and those assets would leave, and it would, right? Or am I wrong?
I think I didn't got it fully. If you can repeat.
Okay, you have okay. And this could just be I'm stupid and I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I'll try again. Okay, you have you have a perps primitive, right?
Yeah.
Peer to peer or whatever. You have a bet leverage trading, doesn't matter, right? Or liquidations in a loan. Okay, you have one side that's using redacted, so it's zero knowledge proof. It's they have privacy. The other side, whatever primitive you want to think of it as, it's a person versus person event. If the guy without privacy wins, he's going to get the liquidity in the from their successful bet. That has to leave the pool on the private side and become public. Am I making sense? I hope I'm not sounding stupid right now. I'm just trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
So the shallow of the secured assets with the privacy layer would get more shallow. Alternatively, it would get deeper if the individual using redacted would win, right? So does that make sense?
Yeah, well, the person which would interact privately would use the private account, which I refer to a sub account, and interacts from there on. And if he interacts with some sort of liquidation pool or whatever and gets liquidated, the assets would just go to the other side, even if it's not using privacy. So it wouldn't harm in any of the privacy. So
Okay. So I'm still a little confused, but that because all the assets that are in using redacted, they're in one pool, right? And the depth of that pool determines essentially the efficacy of the privacy. So, the assets, because it's used from the zero knowledge proof side, if the non-private side wins, then those assets would leave the privacy pool and go to the guy who does not have privacy toggled on. So it would decrease the depth of the private pool. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I hope that makes sense. I'm going to leave it alone after this if I can't.
I think I know what you're trying to ask, Patriot. I think I'm gonna the sub accounts are public, and if I have my public address, and I'm trading with your private, like your redacted one, it's your sub account that is public and showing to me. That's on the blockchain. So I can't make the connection between the sub account address and your original wallet address, because it's shielded through that proxy account, right? Everything's funneling through the proxy account. So I can't make that connection that it's you, but it's happening openly on the blockchain through your sub account, just like my doxed address is, for lack of a better term.
That makes sense. Okay. Thank you, Kenton.
Did I get that right, Redacted? I think I'm right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So
So Redacted, do you have to, is this kind of like you write the code, it's one and done, or is it going to require constant maintenance and updates and upkeep?
For the first part, it's as soon as we are done, it's done for the first part. Depending on how things expanding, we might need to upgrade or add some things if we found new things which might be helpful to add, we obviously add it, but rather than that, it's just working.
Okay, so this is one of those spaces where this just makes complete sense, and your answers are just so succinct and perfect. Where I'm just like, man, this is hard. But this is pretty awesome, right? Because Rujira, it's a DEX, right? Permissionless, no KYC, people can use it, and then that's one part of the equation, right? You can do perps, do whatever you want, leverage trading, all this stuff, loan liquidations, but then you can have privacy on top of that, which is really freaking cool. It's almost like you get Zcash functionality with any asset on THORChain and Rujira. That's huge, right? You don't need to be Zcash to have the same primitive.
Yeah, it's just privacy for any asset.
Right. I'm thinking about it here. That's absolutely enormous.
And is Zcash the right way to think about it too? Like you can, Zcash, it's opt-in privacy, right? Will that be the right way to think about app layer on THORChain? Is you can opt in to privacy, the same way you do on Zcash.
Yeah, it is, and but with the liquidity and the apps which like Monero and the like Zcash don't have, and like as far as I know, like other privacy protocols that exist also don't have. Like I think a big problem is that most of them like just have like one pool and like one asset in it. Like for example, Solana to USDT or whatever, and you just can swap between those two depending on the liquidity, which isn't big in like most of the time. So I think it's pretty huge to bring privacy to our chain and Rujira.
Yeah, it's freaking massive. It's massive. I actually have a question now. Is it possible, like if you do all this privacy stuff, right? And let's say you win big, but the world doesn't know you won big, right? They have no idea. Is it possible, because you said that the private liquidity is tied to one address, right? Is there a way where someone could send a command or a transaction with a memo that would tell those assets to get sent to another address on the same blockchain so that you could obfuscate the winnings, right? Or you could retain more privacy, not necessarily obfuscate the winnings, a better way to put it, but you can change the starting address. Is that possible at all?
Well, in first place, the like proxy account works like that there's always the public account attached to it, which you always need in order to like interact with it, as it's like holds the custody, the zero knowledge, etc. But there will be a function to like send it to another private account, like other setup, like whole privacy attached wallet with another public account. But for that you have to like we have like some stuff in place like proof of innocence, etc. to like make sure it's like kind of compliant. Like we check upfront if like the address isn't on the OFAC list, etc. to like make sure we like the solution is kind of compliant.
Right. And that's okay. So can you so on yours, if you guys click, by the way, if you haven't followed Redacted, you need to do this right now. This is some pretty cool stuff here. Your description says private banking for DeFi, on-chain, private, and in the last word's compliant. So when you say compliant, you're talking about the known OFAC lists of the common addresses that most interfaces filter out, including THORChain. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's pretty cool.
Do you do any more like chain analysis on those addresses, or is it just those specific addresses?
It's just those specific addresses. Like we could add like for that send function, we could like further addresses. Like I have another project where I'm co-founder, which is like related to like tracking hacks, etc. We could like potentially take those addresses as we like have those as like the first persons likely, and even add it to those lists if necessary. So we can like add to that list too. But like as of now, it's just like thought through with the like OFAC list, which is public.
And it's not like you're confiscating or freezing any funds from those addresses. Are you just preventing those addresses from using the service?
Yeah, it's like just preventing. We can't freeze anything as we don't hold like custody of anything too. Like you just can't use this service now. Then.
Yeah. And so Redacted, this feature, this service, it will only be on the THORChain app layer, or could it be applied to the THORChain base layer on the actual L1 swaps?
I think it depends. Like for now, it would only apply to Rujira, obviously. Like native integration would come maybe further down the line if everything goes well. But I think it's even better, like how it works now. Like as we don't like want to like bring any risk to the base layer. So like
Yep.
in general, I think it's better to like keep it on the app layer, which is like the like interaction layer for everything.
Yep, that's the point with the app layer, is that all the features, all the changes happen there so that it can't affect the base layer. So
Yeah.
for example, if there's a bug in your code for some reason, if it's only on app layer, it's isolated to the app layer and it can affect the base layer. The base layer stays protected.
Yeah, and like obviously in theory, yes, we could like integrate it, but it would require like kind of deep changes, like rewriting fault logic, like modifying bfresh routing, redesigning state verification, etc. And like I personally wouldn't do that, as it's like always bringing further risk down the line, which you can't afford, I think. So I would just keep it like as privacy layer on top of the integration interaction layer.
Well, that settles that. If you wouldn't do it, then none of us should. So, well, that's great. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Patriot.
Is there anything else anywhere in crypto, anywhere else that has anything like this? Is this a 0 to 1 redacted? The floor is yours.
As far as I know yet, like there are some sorts of like newly brought stuff, like the Akrim stuff on Solana, which also doesn't come close, I think. Then there's like Railgun, Railway on ETH, I think. But like I think there's like nothing more close to this.
Right. So let's clean it up a little bit, right? So you're saying Solana, there's this one thing. For Ethereum, there's this one thing. What this is, all the layer ones that are supported on THORChain that can be connected to Rajira, all of them are going to get access to a really solid privacy option, of which then they can engage in any DeFi primitive that exists on the app layer. Right?
Yeah.
That's so this is huge. Like that's so big. And that becomes available, you know, ideally, assuming everything goes well, like 2 months, and then all the primitives that come on thereafter. Like, this is really freaking huge.
Yeah, and like for us, it's like really the beginning, as like THORChain X Rujira will be the base where like all comes together, and after like successful integration, etc., we also plan to like expand to like other chains, like with our own interface, and provide that security, which like route all those assets which will be deposited on other chains to THORChain and Rujira. So that there will be like more further down the line.
Are you talking about intents, like an intent system that existed on Rujira, and that could support a lot more assets that are not necessarily native, but then you could apply a privacy element to that as well? Is that what you're saying?
Like as of now, like not yet, but like just like to supported chains and have an interface there for people. So then like just another interface on their chain. So but with the background working on Rujira and like bridging like or like securing the assets through THORChain and Rujira and bringing even more assets and maybe liquidity to it.
Yeah, it's crazy, Kenton. This is crazy, you guys. You could take out a loan privately on Rujira, and then you could take that loan, whatever the loan asset was, then you could do a perps position. You get rugged everything, and then because it's private, your girlfriend will never find out. This is amazing. I love this, right? This is great, you guys. Go ahead, Kenton.
So I'm curious, would we be able to, would this create is it possible to have a dark pool on Rujira then, or no? Because the sub accounts, they're still public. They're just not, they're still public on the blockchain. You can still see everything that they're doing. They're just not tied to specifically someone's address. Or can we create a dark pool where you can't see people's open orders and limits and that sort of stuff?
Well, with the current system, no. But we obviously also had thoughts about that, like of like integrating it, but it would be like too much to like launch it as a V1. And we obviously like want to bring privacy for everyday use as fast as possible. But like that's one of the updates to work on it after the initial like release, so that
Do you
that
have,
would be possible.
so is this something that it is possible, you just need time to do it, or it's something that you're theorizing you would like to do but you don't know if it can be done?
Like we also like thought about it like a lot. Like as far as I know, it could be possible, but like also comes down like further down the line needs to be discussed with Rujira X THORChain, obviously, as it's needing like more than that, like like kind of simple integration baked in. So yeah, it's like obviously something for the future down the line, but like not in very near future.
Okay, so I can't help but wonder if I keep every now and then I read something about dark pools are popping up in crypto, and that's where volume is going. But they're still centralized, right? You're still trusting some centralized party to clear the trades. And just to maybe tell people what a dark pool is, like you can't, with an order book, for example, you wouldn't be able to see everyone's limits as dark. So you can't go and like, trade. If you see somebody looks like, looks like they're trying to implement a strategy, you can't go trade around them or force liquidate them or whatever, and bully them in a way. If it's dark, you have no idea what everybody else is doing, and so in theory that creates a more fair market, as opposed to one where like a few weeks ago where everyone's arguing that these liquidations were done on purpose to make a handful of people money. You wouldn't be able to do that the markets if there were dark pools. Um, you have anything to add to that, Redacted?
Uh, yeah, I think like dark pools are like heavily needed. Like we saw on like Hyperliquid how it can turn out, like how big long or short positions are like hunted down and liquidated, like just to like bully those people, as you just said. So I think it's would be really good to have this stuff really decentralized and working in future.
Yeah,
So,
that's
sorry,
go ahead,
Petra.
Kenton.
I was gonna say, so you get your audit done this year. It's all good. Redacted goes live on Rujira. Is that the next thing you're gonna start working on? Is dark pools, or is that further down the line, like a few years from now type thing?
I think that can come down further down the line. We haven't discussed that with the team, etc. yet, but I think like most people would want that happen in near future. So yeah, maybe that is like the next thing down the line after the like deployment of the version to come now.
Yeah, I think that's a really great question you asked, Kenton. That sounds like a definite priority because, once you go live, right, then, assuming everything's going well, your job thereafter is just maintenance. If we add a new primitive on Rajira, you make sure everything's working good. We do some updates, some code changes. You're basically maintaining Redacted. So yeah, if you've got the engineering time, that dark pool thing actually sounds like the next step, right? I mean, because you're right. If that information is public, you can get bullied just like we saw. That's very cool. Real quick, kind of a simpler question. For the infrastructure involved in Redacted. So it's a part of the Rajira stack, right? Like on THORChain, we don't really have third-party dependencies, like all the nodes run their own thing. So Redacted's going to exist on Rajira as on the infrastructure side, right?
Yeah.
Or how's okay? Okay, pretty straightforward there.
What if what redacted? Like what if your team dies? What if your token goes to 0? What happens to the code on Rajira?
Like obviously, if we all die, that wouldn't be good in first place. But as it's like everything on chain, like it still would work. Just the maintenance wouldn't be working then anymore, obviously. But even if there wouldn't be a front end, I think they're like all like there's a way to like just do it on chain and like withdraw assets to your public account, etc. If you don't want to hold them on like that team protocol anymore.
So there's no users might have to go through some extra headache, but they don't risk losing their assets if your team disappears or your token goes to 0 or anything like that. Everyone's
No,
assets are
like
still
the token or NFT or whatever, like won't have anything to do with it. It's just like for the revenue distribution. So as long as people would use it, the token would still have revenue, etc. So yeah, it's like just a bit more headache. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anything, let's say it's 15 basis points people are paying these redacted, that would just be going into the ether. It'd be going to nobody. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Man, this is pretty straightforward. That's pretty solid. Gosh dang it, man! I had some. I must be tired today. My brain has been doing some kinds of silly things, but this is really incredible stuff. This is really something special. I was not aware before we started the space just how cool of an idea this is. Because I started the space without this wasn't a warm up to give myself the ability to knock something out of the park, right? This was just me talking about Zcash and how important privacy is. But again, it has to be repeated. This is a privacy-like function that is given to any layer 1 that participates on Rujira and activates the Redacted platform. That's really, really cool. That's really important. That's fantastic, man. My mind's a little blown, and when I get a little blown like this, I have a hard time thinking. But it's really a powerful technology because that narrative that's so hot right now that everyone loves on Zcash. Privacy is the thing, right? That is definitely the narrative right now. That is something that Rujira, that THORChain, we can all really take a part in and really promote. And not just people who may be holding on a layer 1 exogenous asset. They don't have Zcash, but then they can get that same functionality. That's truly incredible. I commend you guys. This is a very cool technology. I am so excited to see this live, and I can't wait to try it out. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It's like still a bit of a way to go, but we'll get there, and it will be amazing, I think. Like I think there even was like ZK hype like the last years, but like none of the protocols like really used privacy, nor like I guess like most of the investors like didn't even know what ZK is. It was just like a word to hype and let those investors buy.
Okay. So one thing in this conversation, I did like Kenton's question about, you know, redundancy when it comes to, you know, if something bad happened to Redacted, you know, like how would that work? Sounds like, you know, people would get their assets, maybe some headache. But you know, obviously I don't want you to tell them anything about your team, but is your team decentralized a little bit like throughout the world, or are you guys kind of like, you know, not that decentralized? Maybe could you give a little hint about that? Or if you don't want to, that's fine. That, you know.
We're like kind of decentralized. I'm myself based in Germany, another team member too. And like the rest is based in US, Canada, and just around the world. So not especially binded to one point of the earth.
Okay, so it sounds like it'd be pretty hard for all of you to go down in a boating accident or something like that.
Yeah, I think if that happens, the world has like bigger problems than that.
Yeah, I think so. Well, you guys are not allowed to hang out, okay? I don't know, Kenton. Man, I'm almost out of questions here. I think we've been pretty thorough. Maybe we should invite people to ask questions, or if you got something else.
Yeah, people can come up for sure. I do have another question. I know Mocha is an app, like a point of sale app, and they're looking at introducing Zcash so they could basically, you know, when somebody's going to the store to buy a coffee, they don't have to expose their whole, you know, Bitcoin history, for example. If they're paying with Bitcoin, they can, you know, route it through Zcash to a shielded transaction and whatnot. Um, can Redacted on Regira, can a point of sale app utilize Regira in their backend, their background, to achieve something similar, so that, you know, if I have Bitcoin, I want to go to a store and go buy something, my Bitcoin can go through Regira, through Redacted, and, you know, end up settling with the merchant. You know, is there some way? Is that all possible? Yeah.
Yeah, like a funny thing, the like thought Redacted came to life with on Terra was that there was like UST, and we all thought it would be the currency of the future, and we can just go to the store and buy coffee with it. And we just thought it can't happen that like the coffee guy sees like your like your whole portfolio and like properly get you then. So that was the way we thought, and brought all this to life then. And like we also like always thought about this, and even had this on the like long-term list of things to do, like to one day release like a like Redacted credit card, so people can directly spend from their like private accounts. So like I think it could be possible in future, but we'll see like how it turns out, etc. But I think that's like should be possible.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be huge. Yeah, Patriot, I'm running out of questions
Dude,
myself.
like, well, here's the thing. This is a nuclear bomb we're dropping over here. This is like one of those. It's like there's no dramatic. It's just boom, right? It's because you guys just think about it. Like, what are we doing wrong here? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think in my brain, like, what are we missing in this conversation? What are we missing in our ambition? Right? You look again. I want to repeat Zcash, how well it's doing, the narrative, the importance of privacy. That's where this industry is going. We are building an entire DeFi suite that is non KYC and permissionless. And then we are going to give people the ability to have privacy with whatever exogenous asset they want to use that's supported. This just wins. And I don't know I can't figure out where the weakness is on the first principles layers. Like if we pull this off, this just straight up wins so freaking hard. Like so hard. Man, this is crazy. And like Kenton, maybe because you're really good, like since you're really into not TradFi, you know, I don't want to call you that, but like in business, maybe we could talk about like some practical scenarios, like hedge funds or something. Like, you think they would be interested in this? Would you say?
Yeah, I think everybody should be interested in it.
Right.
Because like, you know, nobody wants to share all their bank balances and bank transaction histories with the whole world. Right? Like I think it's obvious, right, that we need some kind of privacy. You know, it's funny. I keep reading tweets too that like 5 or 10 years from now, people are gonna like look back and be like, everyone was okay with these public blockchains. Like it's kind of crazy when you think about it. You know, I get it. It was a necessary evil to kind of, you know, get things going, and just, you know, Bitcoin is being built and it just took on a life of its own, right? But yeah, I'm convinced if they had started with Monero or Zcash, like that would be Bitcoin, right? It's just the network effects got going and Bitcoin got huge, right? But the idea of having, you know, all of your personal info public like that, I think is maybe not 5 or 10 years, but 20 or 30 years, we're gonna look back and like, that was just crazy to build things like that. Like, of course we need privacy. So especially like you said about funds, businesses, absolutely. You know, you want the people with real money don't want you to know how much they have, right? And so, you know, they go through drinks to you know, keep a low profile. Yet they're going to go into crypto on chain and have like, you know, all of their everything shown and all public, and you know, nobody wants to do that. Same with funds, right? Hedge funds. I was talking earlier about, you know, people's trading strategies or whatever. You know, they don't want you don't want to see what they're doing, right? You know, these what do you call them? But funds with like trading algorithms, like the algorithms that really work, like they have like really, they're extremely secretive about it, and they have really strict NDAs, and you know, they're very shy and careful with who they share the algorithm with or any information about it, because it's just printing money for them, and you know, they don't want anybody else to figure it out. Whereas, you know, you have that, you know, that algorithm in crypto, I mean, everyone can see it right away, exactly what you're doing. So there's absolutely a need for privacy, 100%. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kenton. I knew you'd have some good juicy sound bites there. The only other thing I can think of, and it's not even really related to Redacted directly, is you know, you said earlier in the conversation, Redacted, that Ruggira is going to get an amount of tokens of the native token, the revenue share. I would just be curious what Ruggira plans to do with the revenue from those stake tokens. No big deal. I'm just curious. Oh, I did think of something. So earlier, you said there's revenue sharing tokens. Did I hear you correctly? You also have NFTs, and those NFTs are revenue sharing as well. How does that work?
Yeah, sure. Like the NFT like bootstrapped everything, and it's like how Redacted came to life. And like back on Terra, we like airdropped the token to those holders then. And like from then on, we like always like had a 50-50 system. So like everything is distributed within that system. So obviously the token is like more liquid than the NFT, but like the NFT, like if you hold one, it might be way more expensive and hold more like kind of equity in the yeah, in the revenue. So yeah, it would be both. Like the NFT is currently still on Arbitrum, can be traded as soon as like same as the token, which can't be traded as of now, which we like transfer to Ruggira as soon as like the launchpad on Regira is ready, then like we will do like a small round on the Regira launchpad and like launch the token right after.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I could foresee a future, since those, you know, NFTs are a share at 50-50, I'm assuming, between NFTs and the tokens. Those NFTs might become quite valuable if this really takes off. Well, we got we got Pragmatic Monkey up here. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go for it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, just wanted to reply quickly on your question about what we will do with the revenue we collect. So the investment, we made a 100K investment into Redacted, which we are like releasing in tranches based on their delivery. And we made this investment from the ecosystem fund, which means we'll probably stack a big part of those tokens to collect a share of the revenue. We'll probably use some of those tokens as well to make markets to increase the liquidity and people trade on Roger Trade for Red. And the revenue we collect and the yields will most likely just be reinvested into more protocol and liquidity. So that's the vision here.
Thank you for answering that, Pragmatic Monkey. Is there anything else you want to share while you're up here from your end? Do you think we missed anything, Kenton and I? Because, you know, we are mostly THORChain, right? And we're kind of newbies a little bit. If there's anything you want.
Yeah, maybe just one other point. Earlier, you were asking about the economics. And so basically, what Redacted is in our builders classification, it's what we call category 2, value-added builder. They are building on top of the core apps. And so every time you will use Redacted to do things privately across all the Roger app, you still pay the normal fee on Roger apps. And so that's where there is value accrual for both THORChain and Roger. And then the extra service you pay on top for accessing those apps with privacy is what goes to Redacted.
Perfect. Thank you. I don't. Yeah, we should have asked that. So it's whatever the base fee for Roger is plus the 15 basis points or whatever it's going to be. That makes complete sense to me. And that's not at all expensive to have privacy. I think people will be more than happy to pay that. That's nothing. I mean, people pay a lot more than that for just basic public swaps, right? So a little on for privacy. I think that's a no-brainer. Well, gosh dang it, you guys. I am out of ideas. I am out of questions. I think this is absolutely freaking awesome. You know, if anyone has any other questions, I can check the Telegram real quick. Oh man, we got some paragraphs here. This is hard for me to speed read and talk and keep the audience engaged as well. People are just, okay, people have been trying to explain things to me because I'm an idiot. Oh, we got someone requested. Let's see here. Oh, it didn't work. I don't know. This thing's bugged. Gosh dang it.
I just approved him. So maybe that's why.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Village Idiot, you got something smart to say?
Because I don't.
No, that's who I just brought up. I'm teasing him with his name. Yeah. Village Idiot, does your mic work?
I don't see a Village Idiot. I see a crypto vigilante up on stage.
Oh, maybe. I'm sorry. I read it wrong. I'm the idiot. I'm the Village Idiot.
I check.
What's up, guys?
It's dyslexia. I saw vigilante and for some reason. Sorry, sorry, man. Totally, that is on me.
What's going on, guys? Hey, so I heard you guys talk about zero knowledge proofs. Thank you so much, THORChain, for bringing in Monero. That is incredibly amazing. Very much commend you guys for everything you guys are doing in the privacy space. Yeah, I wanted to bring two projects to mind that maybe a lot of people don't know about. The first one, and maybe you guys have talked about this, maybe you have not. It's THORChain. Have you guys heard of THORChain?
I have not.
I have not.
They come from the Urbit community, and it is the Urbit and 21E8 community creating a network to bring about the transaction finality that ecosystem has been craving for many years. So it's zero knowledge proof of works, and it's proof of works across the board in everything that they do. It's their launch happened earlier this year, and as a network, in my opinion, if you were to compare them with Tari gave the world a very well built out product, very easy to use wallets, easy to use mining for the end user. THORChain is pretty premature in that regard, but you also have to keep in mind that THORChain is doing something very revolutionary in that it's doing everything under one hood, whereas Tari is doing more of the Cardano model of having two separate blockchains carry out both transactions and smart contracts on the latter. And so that's a project that I think everyone should like dig in on. The white paper that was released, I don't think there is a digital copy of it. You have to get a little book that went around certain circles, and I was blessed to get the little book. It has a tulip on the front. is really awesome. I took pictures of the book, so everyone in my community got a digital copy of the book. But yeah, it's that technology that I think is worth looking into. They use zero knowledge proofs on every aspect of the network. And even in their consensus algorithm, what they hash are zero knowledge proofs. That's why it's called zero knowledge proof of work.
Well, Crypto Vigilante, what does NOC have to do with Redacted or Regira or THORChain? What is your question or comment there? How do the two relate?
I was listening to you guys talk about privacy, and I thought that I wanted to bring up a couple of privacy projects that I thought were worth mentioning.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Yeah,
and then the other one is the with the biggest anonymity set, which is THORChain, which is doing the Z addresses by default that everyone would want Zcash to be. So that network and that project is, in my opinion, extremely underrated. And in comparison to Monero, it is the one network that really rivals Monero, because it is using Zcash technology by default. So
that's
you
great,
have
man.
no tier.
We don't want to get into shilling other coins here. We want to keep the conversation focused. Respect. Redacted he's taking time out of his day on a Saturday. So if you don't have any questions for him or Pragmatic Monkey about Regira, we're gonna cap you here, buddy.
Thank you so much, guys. Hey, thank you, THORChain, for all your awesome work. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Redacted, were you going to say something?
No, all good. It's
okay. Well, I'm running out of questions and stuff too. I don't know, Pragmatic Monkey, if you have anything you want to add to this. Redacted, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to bring up?
I think from my side, we have talked about like most of the stuff, so nothing from my side.
Yeah, usually I'm pretty good at picking things apart and finding more and more, but your answers have just been so straightforward and there's no ambiguity. I really appreciate that, man. And it really equals a very efficient space. I mean, we asked your questions, you answered them. Pragmatic Monkey gave some more context. Guys, I gotta go to the audience here. If you guys have questions, please request now, because this might be a short space, and that's not because what Redacted isn't freaking awesome. It's an absolute banger idea. We got it under wraps here. I mean, this is just legendary stuff, I mean, what more can we say? I'm trying to figure out ways where Redacted messes up. Kenton went from the attack vectors. Where does, is there an attack vector here? We got that covered. The tokenomics, there's a coins, there's NFTs, the revenue share, what it does to people with exogenous assets. I don't know what else to talk about. I mean, what the heck? I think we're pretty comprehensive here, boys. Gosh dang it.
Well, something people keep, not only do people want privacy, a lot of people also want us to make these spaces shorter. So maybe we give them a double whammy. But I think definitely this shouldn't be the last time we talk Redacted. As you're getting closer maybe once your audit is done, or once we've actually launched some Jira, we can have you on again to talk about, give us an update and remind people, that they'll be able to use it. So yeah, looking forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, definitely happy to do that and talking about everything privacy.
Real quick, I'll mention the Crypto Vigilante, the last speaker. If, those layer ones, right? The first step, right, since we're going to be wrapping the space, have them reach out to THORChain and discuss integration, because THORChain is going into integration mode, adding chains. So that's where the conversation starts, right? And then maybe we can bring these other exogenous assets onto Rajira. The next step would be Pragmatic Monkey, right? So, and if you've, you can DM me after the space, and we'll have a conversation, and then maybe we can have a Saturday where we have those protocols or whatever as the topic. But obviously Redacted, this is the topic, so we do want to respect the time. But thank you for bringing those up. Kenton, did you have any updates at all for the our swap interface? Or I know it was only a few days ago, or anything else like that?
Yeah, I do. No, I can. So I talked to the devs, and they got behind again. They're hoping to push the DEX aggregation live this week, but now they're delayed probably about 2 weeks. But they're gonna. I told them they have to get memoless and limit orders to push through on the front end, so that we can start using them next week when it goes live in 3.12. So. Yeah, he said they would. So when memoless go live next week, we should, maybe there's a day late on the website, but they should go live at the same time. And then I guess with the DEX aggregation, you have to do the whole, they're building the whole back end for the site, and they don't want to duplicate a lot of work, pushing a lot of fixes to the current site. So then they have to basically unwind it when they redo the back end for DEX aggregation. So once DEX aggregation goes through, then updates and tweaks and fixes should go much faster after that. And so yeah, next few weeks, the swap interface should change quite a bit and add a lot more functionality to you guys. And if you find any weird edge case, bugs, formatting issues, something spelled wrong, whatever, please use the website on the interface, or use the email address, sorry, on the interface, and submit a bug report there. And yeah, tell people about it, use it. It works, guys. No affiliate fees, save money trading on it. Yeah.
Yeah, use it, guys. And especially if you're new to a THORChain space, I mean, this is a real deal. No KYC, permissionless, real layer one swaps. If you love it, if it works well for you, share it with your community. Do not give centralized exchanges this margin anymore. It's completely unnecessary. It's obsolete. Do not surrender the custody of your assets to a centralized exchange. Bring it home, put it in your own wallet, connect to swap.thorchain.org, and do swaps the decentralized way. It's the better way in every single sense of the word. And then if you can, explore the deeper things we got going on with the app layer and everything else. It is a beautiful thing that's being built here. Is there anything else, Kenton, or is it time?
That's good. It's time. Bring us home.
Let's go. Okay. Well, thank you to all the speakers. The Crypto Vigilante, Kenton, my brother, of course, Pragmatic Monkey, Redacted, absolute banger. Well done. Shout out to you for your efficient answering of the questions, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys, and lovely to speak to you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So next week, next Saturday, we're going to have Maya Protocol with Alex. We might have some more of our favorite Mexicans over there. Everyone knows that Maya Protocol is our hot Mexican girlfriend, not our sister. That's gross. And so get ready for that, you guys. Other than that, this is going to be a wrap. I hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.